So when we were doing our last show on Monday, just hours before the program,
Yes.
Sydney Watson leaked a bunch of DMs, or Camelot leaked a bunch of DMs with Sydney Watson exposing Jeremy Hambley. She did an interview about it. In these DMs, it's revealed that Quartering has been blackmailing her, threatening her for years. Sydney Watson, during the phone call with Camelot, admits that she's scared of Jeremy Hambley, the reprisals that he might do, that it's mutually assured destruction. She talks about how she has recordings of Jeremy Hambley drunk, doing all sorts of crazy fucking shit. Let's have a look at these DMs.
Okay.
So that's Camelot says.
Is the blue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Says Quartering called one of my buddies on the phone, another streamer. And I think this person is Tim Pool, to be honest.
Whoa, yeah.
I think
Tim Pool actually sponsored his car, remember?
Yes. I think that it's Tim Pool that Quartering confided this information into. That's just purely speculation on my part.
Yeah.
But I think it finally makes sense, because I don't think he would tell this stuff. We thought, was it an editor? Was it a family friend? So here we've learned it's another streamer. And I think the only other streamer that Quartering would tell this to would be Tim Pool. Okay.
Yeah.
And told Tim, that's my insertion, that he was broke and being forced to stream because of Rumble. My buddy said he was incredibly drunk. I'm not surprised. And barely could make out his words, implying he was going bankrupt.
How are you guys going today?
Anyway, Sydney says he's such a fucking liar.
Wow.
Which we all know is true.
Yep.
So Sydney says, the funny thing is, when he approached me to work and stream together, I told him I wouldn't work with another alcoholic.
Whoa.
So the word was out on the street, even back then, 4 or 5 years ago, that Quartering was a full-blown alcoholic, and she didn't want to have to work with another alcoholic. But at that time, she was completely desperate. She had just lost a really high-paying job with the Blaze. Her name was getting dragged through the mud, even though she was in the right. And it's obvious now in hindsight that Elijah Schaefer is a sex pest, that Elijah Schaefer is a creep.
He's a lot of things, actually.
And a predator, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
The clip of him,
when it comes to Elijah.
He was threatening his ex-wife like just 3 days ago. Oof.
She didn't have many options. And so even though Quartering was an alcoholic and he had a bad reputation, she saw this as one of the only opportunities we had. And she's going to talk about how this is a pattern of behavior with Quartering, where he preys upon vulnerable women that are in a bad spot, that aren't financially independent, and then he tries to twist them and mold them into his own sick, perverted image. Okay. So she says, I told him I wouldn't work with another alcoholic, and if he wanted to team up, he had to be sober. He agreed. And it quickly fell apart. No doubt it quickly fell apart. This guy said he quit drinking, and 2 days later, we caught him in his hand on live stream, a bottle of Fireball. Okay?
Can you not at least wait till your show's done to crack the beer open? Can you just put it down for a minute? Like, calm down.
And I think that's part of the reason why he's moving his show to 9 a.m. is so that after the show, he can just be blackout drunk all day long.
That's actually a great theory. I think it's actually true.
So here we go. Oh my God, I saw that. Well, maybe he shouldn't be a fucking predator. Sydney Watson describes Quartering blatantly as a predator, somebody that preys on women. She says, if I say anything, his entire house of cards comes down.
Ooh.
So why won't she reveal everything?
Well, she's afraid.
A predator. That's the thing. She's afraid. Quartering is blackmailing her, threatening her. It's my personal belief that Quartering, as these DMs were being leaked, contacted Sydney Watson and said that he would ruin her life or her family's lives, or he would sue her in order to get her to withdraw certain statements here that were particularly damaging to him. Now, Sydney Watson has DM'd Andy and said that that's not the case. But the thing is, if you are being blackmailed and threatened, you aren't going to admit you're being blackmailed and threatened, are you?
Also, it's the implication. It is the implication, because Quartering has already stated in the past about lawsuits and lawfare regarding, slander or whatever, even though this is all true stuff, by the way.
Now, she says, I know some shit about his personal life that makes everything make sense. I will repeat. She knows some shit about Quartering's personal life that makes everything make sense.
We
can only speculate.
She never told me any of this, but
what's the implication of that? That's the implication, right? That him and his wife are separated or have an open marriage of some kind.
I would she didn't tell me this, but that's the biggest thing. And plus everything makes sense. All the clues would make sense to that statement.
And then she says, because I'm not sure how I feel about publicly exposing that, I've said nothing. Now, this is just my opinion, but if somebody is a predator and is preying on women, and you have information that will lead to their downfall and them no longer being able to prey on women, as a proud feminist, you should come out and fully expose that person and end their ability to prey on women. And I don't think that's a crazy stance. Now, people say to me, well, PPP, because I was pissed off when she didn't fully expose him. Well, you're not the one being threatened. It's not your family's lives that are at risk, that they might be ruined or whatever. You don't know exactly what he's threatening.
God knows what she told him, that maybe something about her family or partner.
Yes. And we all know that he's willing to use anything and everything to smear people and ruin their lives, and what the retaliation might be on his part. And by the way, he's refusing to address any of this. He's pretending like this didn't happen. If he's really innocent in all of this, and he's not a predator, and he didn't do anything wrong, anything untowards towards Sydney Watson, Quartering should come out and burn this whole thing to the fucking ground and expose her accusations as fraudulent and force the issue and clear his name. Because as of right now, we have a woman that worked with Quartering for a long period of time, that's highly credible, that's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube, a sizable audience, that in private communications is describing him as a predator and saying that she knows shit about his personal life that can bring his entire house of cards down. Jeremy Hambley, though, sleeps, is silent, won't clear his name, and you have to wonder why. I think it's because he's 100% guilty, and in this situation, if he presses the issue, he'll be completely felted and lose everything.
Well, she might be like, okay, well, if you're going to lie about this, then here's the DMs or whatever the fuck, right? And again, I believe when she says mutually assured destruction, I believe he just knows about personal stuff that she doesn't want revealed. That's basically what it is.
Well,
right?
I think he knows her address. I think he knows
or someone's name of a family. Yeah.
Names of family members and stuff like that. And he will leak it and attack those people.
Well, and also he's been using alts on Twitter and on all these websites, right? To try to get into places and say things.
He probably knows the identity of who she's in a relationship with.
Yeah, exactly. And then he might go on
wants to protect
and then post it there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, by the way, DSP Historical Society share for 15 subs. 20 subs, actually. Sorry, 20.
Support.
And 2 cents for 5 subs. Thanks, guys. We really fucking appreciate it. And not Jeremy Hambley for 6 subs. Let's fucking go. I don't know if we thanked Platty Stein also for a sub and Phantom Felton for a sub. Thank you. All right, let's continue. Here we go.
So she says, actually, one thing I do want on the record is that despite the lies Jeremy told, I was the only person who never got paid a single cent when the Publica was happening.
Wait.
So Jer apparently had her do all this work for free and never paid her one nickel or one dime for all of the hundreds of hours of work that she put in. She says Jeremy might have fronted the whole thing financially, but also every dollar went to him. And he's tried to say that Sydney Watson stole $250,000 from him. That's his contention, which he's not litigating right now. And you got to wonder why. Why is he not fighting back against these claims? Why is he just allowing this to stand if it's not true? So she says, when I asked to see the books, he'd give me the runaround. Or when I asked if I could buy him out, he kept insisting I give him $100,000 or $200,000. He'd pull these random numbers out of his ass. So very shady in his business dealings and practices. But I mean, we didn't need Sydney Watson to tell us that. We could all see it for ourselves.
You know, yep. Oh, shit.
Then Camelot says $250,000 and then betraying him. What a fuck face. Sydney says that's insane and never happened. And then Camelot says, this is why you need to come on. I mean, the mad shit. He's talked about you.
Wait, when did he say $250,000? I think he said it like in October.
He did a couple different, I think it was like last year. He was complaining about Sydney Watson in the Publica. And then just last month, I think it was, when he rebranded the Publica as Quartering News
that video.
Daily.
Hey guys.
And he made that video explaining it again and threw her under the bus again, which, like, why would you do that? Because now, again, you pissed her off again. Yeah. And she's coming out to expose you.
Well, he thinks he's a king and he could just do whatever he wants. A mafia boss. He's a mafia boss and he can, all this.
So she said, what caused me to start to distance myself and dislike him immensely actually had to do with my tea company. When I was gearing up to launch, he said he'd do my fulfillment from his third-party logistics. Now, you just got to ask why he volunteers that, like all this assistance. Milady, allow me to save you on my white horse and come in, milady. Well, it was because he was planning to scam her and grift her.
Big scam.
It was a big scam. By the way, we got DSP Historical Society shirt for 20 subs.
Let's go. Big support, man.
They had a lot of phone conversations about cost, etc. He said he wasn't trying to make money off of me, and I said, great. Like, obviously, he was trying to make money off of you. And with a lot of this stuff, like, I don't know if you're just naive or you just...
Maybe she actually believed. I mean, like, again, I'm into manipulation. He's done this to people in the past. He does seem like a genuine guy when you do talk to him privately. But it's all snakery. It's all mask. He has a mask on. And he's trying to... Or maybe he did want to help her. But then he's like, I'm going to squeeze a little penny off this bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
let's continue. So we'll see how this story went.
Let's go. Oh, all right. There we go.
So I said, great. Maybe we can help you get better shipping rates for your coffee with the increased quantity of shipments, including my tea. I don't expect people to make $0. I understand it's a business, but I thought it was so cool.
Okay, so cool.
That he did that anyway. It didn't turn out like that at all. Without boring you with the details, the 3PLs charge anywhere from 50 cents to maybe $1.75 per item to pack and ship. Usually it'll be like $1 for the first item and then 30 to 70 cents for every item after. So say someone was packing a 4-pack of my tea, they'd charge $1, then say 50 cents times 3, $2.50 for the whole package. So the third-party logistics charge you for everything, building boxes, and then adding the items to the boxes and then shipping them.
The fucking details already bored me. Let's continue.
I know. So we talked a bunch before we decided to go with Jeremy's, and it was really because he was my friend. And we had a handshake agreement that he wouldn't fuck me over. Well, serves you right. You trusted a Jer. You trusted a Jer, lady. What were you thinking? So they agreed on $2.50 per box. That's all the items in the box. It would cost $2.50, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Wait, is that
per completed box? He ended up charging me $2.50 per item. Wait. So for a 4-pack of tea, that was just $10 just to pack, plus $8 to ship. So she's in it for $18 instead of $2.50.
So she's making almost, like a quarter off her fucking tea.
Yeah. Well, almost 10 times what he said it would cost to ship it is what he actually delivered on. And it's going to bleed her completely dry financially.
Well, she's still doing the tea company, by the way. So she figured out another way, obviously a non-scam way to do this, obviously.
Even in the most expensive places, she says $2.50 per item is fucking insane. His dudes get paid $15 an hour. That's all Jer is paying these people is $15 an hour. What a bum, buddy. So 1.5 of my boxes would pay for one of his guys for an hour. Everything else is eventually just profit. So my first bill from him was fucking lunacy, and it was her entire profit margin. So Jer stole all of the profits for himself and left her with fucking nothing, no margins at all. Yo, is anybody surprised?
Yo, this is like a lawsuit worthy.
Yeah, so Jer ripped her off and then claimed that she was the one who stole from him.
No contract, though. It sucks. God damn.
When I asked him about it, he said, you should have structured your business better. Whoa, buddy.
What he meant by that, actually, he's not wrong. What he meant by that is,
my God,
you should have not worked with me. You should have worked with someone who knew what the fuck they were doing.
You should have actually used your fucking brain and not trusted a Jer. Yeah.
He's the new J instead of saying Jew, now Jer.
She says, trying to explain the tea thing is hard because people need to understand how fulfillment works, and they probably glaze over listening. Yeah, it was the case with Andy. He's like, I don't give a fuck, you know? But the fact is, he was prepared to fuck her over so hard over a few bucks and then told her to structure her business better when the whole structure of it was being provided by Jer.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. You should have figured it out better. Like, you said you would help me. What the fuck?
And that was the vibe. Thanks for the money. And she says it broke her spirit. And she says, you know, extra why I hate him. Well, YouTubers already get a bad name when they launch a product because it really usually is totally hands off and fully controlled by a third party. His included. So there she is saying that Jeremy's coffee is drop shipped.
It is.
Well, that it's all handled by a third party company.
How much evidence do we need?
We all know that this is the case. And she was working with him directly and confirms here that it was drop ship coffee run by a third party. Now, in her interview with Camelot, she walks back that statement, but I believe that was under duress of potential litigation from Jeremy or threats of life ruination. I tend to trust what she was saying here in private over the clarification she made on the phone call. But regardless of whether she actually knew or not that it was drop shipped, we all know that it's actually fucking drop shipped. And this to me is just another nail in the coffin. Like, it's already dead. We're beating a dead horse on this shit.
By nail in the coffin, imagine a coffin with 10,000 nails.
You've got just like a nail gun just going. You know what I mean? Like
it's a coffin made of nails.
Every week, like the coffin itself is made of fucking nails. Yeah. Like it's an Iron Maiden, for fuck's sake. Anyway,
I'm gonna AI that, by the way. Go ahead.
Anyway, so his included. She says mine is fucking not. I literally do everything, and people associate this with the Jeremys of the world. The reason I don't put my T mentions in every video I do is because I desperately do not want to be like him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think anyone does, to be fair.
No, he's a failure. She says it actually stresses me out, and I don't want to be known for always being in bullshit. And lastly, here it is. Bro has threatened to sue me, leak DMs, and threatened me a lot. So he's constantly blackmailing her, threatening her to maintain her silence. So you know right well, if that's happening to Sydney Watson, what do you think's happening to Hannah Claire Brimelow right now? What do you think's happening to Melanie Mack in private right now?
Even Chrissy Mayer.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think's happening to Chrissy Mayer? Why do you think they're all so desperate to sweep for him? It's because the exact same thing is going on. Jeremy knows where they live. He says he has their tax information, all this sort of stuff. He knows stuff behind the scenes about their personal lives, and he's willing to weaponize it against these women in order to keep them silent against him. And up until now, it's worked. And in this situation with Sydney Watson, it's half worked because we've gained a lot of information from this situation, but Sydney Watson isn't willing to go all the way and go scorched earth because she knows there's going to be significant retaliation from Jeremy Hambley.
Yeah.
So now we have somebody described by Sydney Watson as a predator that's still being allowed to prey on women because the women he's preying on are so scared to confront him. And this is a disgusting situation that's just happening in broad daylight. It's fucked.
This is crazy. So, DSP is society, sure. For 50 5-0. Let's go. Big support here. Wow. And he is now beating Busted Fuse on the weekly there. That's crazy. And we got
DSP Lou Cypher. Much like Mr. Bonnell, she didn't read the fine print. Perhaps she'll get a happy ending as Phil did with the sodomy and all.
By the way, I have to
we have a bunch of followers here. And DSP Historic Society sure for 20 subs as well. I'm not sure if we shut it down.
Yeah, DSP Historic Society, Busted Fuse, Jelly King, all Tolerator. I can thank you all for days and days. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Go. Oh, wait. Did we read that one?
So, yeah. So for venting at him. Yep. And then Camelot asks, I do wonder, did he ever imply or do anything creepy, like in those drunk calls or anything? Thinking back to the Ren Fair stuff and how he acts. And Sydney says yes.
Is that
Camelot? He was a creep. That was my dressed up theatrical version. I do declare.
Old 70 Sam.
Yeehaw! She says, yeah, not sure I want this stuff shared. Haha. Well, it's being shared. But when we first met in 2021, he was in Dallas for some event. And we all went to a bar. I met a dude that night who I went on to date. And that guy and I talked the whole time. I drove Jeremy back to his hotel, probably because Jeremy was blackout drunk, right? Okay. With two other people in the car. And the whole time he was going on and on about how he wanted to fight the guy I was talking to and basically saying he'd fight him for me. Ooh, creepy simp alert. Creepy beta simp alert. Oh,
I'll fucking fight him for you. Sydney, I'm your friend. You know I love you.
You know I won't let him have you. Right?
I'll take him.
Girl. Oh, buddy,
to be a fly on the wall. Oh my God.
Oh my God. She says, I'm a massive prude. I freely admit this. She doesn't like sex talk. She's super weirded out by it all. I don't want to know, don't want to share about it. So him being sexual was always really alarming to me.
Alarming.
Yeah. especially after all my Elijah stuff. But yeah, I perceived what he was doing, at least in the early days, as hitting on me because it's obvious that's what it is. And she made it super clear that she was not interested.
Okay.
And, she says here he's awful. You don't see it at first because of his nice guy. He's a nice guy, huh?
Cringing, bro.
Ooh, married guy, by the way, everyone. Married guy.
Yeah.
But eventually the mask slips and you realize he's a money-obsessed, insane person who is so unhinged and untethered from reality. And Sydney Watson acts as though, and a lot of people, including myself, have made this mistake of saying he's entirely motivated by money. But I think he's actually motivated more by cooming and like getting female attention and validation. Also clout. And creeping out women in clout. He wants the money and the clout so that he can blow it all on simping for women and cooming.
Yes.
Like that's what this actually is.
Yeah. And the clout thing makes sense because he brags about his YouTube views when he knows he's using shorts and purchasing ads. But he thinks he's a big deal because of the clout, but it's all fake, obviously. There we go.
Next slide.
Yep, there we go.
She says, I want to be the sort of internet person who doesn't do fuckery. And just having been involved with him shortly, I am now forever connected to fuckery. And I hate it.
Oof.
And then he once called her the cuck destroyer. And I don't think he realizes how true that is.
Whoa!
Whoa, buddy! Cuck destroyer alert! Cuck destroyer alert! What does she mean by this? Like, and she knows stuff about his private life that would bring down his house of cards, and she's the cuck destroyer.
Or is it because of all the recent stuff? But I think it's
I don't know. I think the implication is
she knows something.
She knows that he is a cock,
In her opinion, she never told me anything.
But like she'll deny that, but like the implications of this stuff are pretty clear to me. And then Camelot says you're living up to the name.
You're living up to the name.
Now, I just wanted to give this quick overview. Elijah Schaffer and Sydney Watson were co-hosts of the conservative podcast You Are Here on Blaze TV. Watson sued Blaze Media and alleged harassment by Schaffer, claiming he was misogynistic and abusive, leading to a lawsuit that was settled in 2024. Schaffer was later fired from the Blaze following accusations of physical assault against another employee. So I bring all of this up to point out that Sydney Watson, in this interview with Camelot that I clipped up, says that Jeremy is the same sort of person as Elijah Schaffer. So if you say he's a predator and he's the same sort of person as Elijah Schaffer, these are pretty serious accusations. Do you know what I mean? And these accusations actually need to be answered. And the evidence needs to be dropped exposing this person. If you believe that he's on the same level as Elijah Schaffer, and by the way, the allegations of Elijah Schaffer against Elijah Schaffer have now gone far, far beyond what happened at the Blaze. So to say, as she's going to say here in this interview, that Jeremy Hambley's the same sort of person as Elijah is a very damning statement. Okay, so let's get into this.
All right. So from Camelot with Sydney Watson, here we go.
And that kind of goes for the things that I know about Jeremy too. There's no world, and the people in my DMs asking me, I'm never going to say anything because I said this in my video about Elijah Schaffer, where I made the point that a lot of this is mutually assured destruction, and there's nothing really in my life. Like, I'm bored.
Like, this is the thing. Like, she says it's mutually assured destruction to expose Jeremy Hambley. What does that mean?
Well, it obviously means he's got all her personal info, and she's a very private person, right?
And so
he's willing to do whatever.
I feel like she's kind of backpedaling at this point because she doesn't want this guy to destroy her lives and her family members' lives.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, right? you have to decide, are you in for exposing this person or are you out? And these half measures of like DMing with Camelot about it, and then you're not sure if you want to be a part of it. It's like once you reveal this stuff to the world, I feel like you have
side. We're all on your side.
I feel like you have to go all the way. And I understand there's a lot of pressure against her. I understand she's being threatened. I understand that she's scared. But this guy is obviously a disgusting creep, and he should be fully exposed to the sunlight. And the thing is, when you come out and stand against him, then others will come out and speak against him as well. You're not alone in this situation. We all want to support you, no matter what happens and what Jeremy reveals. It just further proves what a fucking scumbag he is. But I do understand what a spot that she's in.
No half measures, no quarter measures. Fuck yeah.
There's nothing really in my life that I want to hide or anything like that, but I will never go after somebody's personal life like that. So I just want to clarify that. I think having to deal with two of the same kind of man back to back was pretty awful.
Two of the same kind of man. Two of the same kind of man.
Yep.
Saying that Jeremy is the same as Elijah Schaffer. I think that's a very damning statement. I think that that's brutal.
This is not a me too, by the way. This is a me poo. Fucking God damn, I'm on fire.
Well, and granted, I put myself in that situation. I just want to be left alone. Thing is, yes, I did record conversations. It's obviously so taboo in our industry.
She's recorded. So this is the thing, right? You recorded these conversations. You say it's taboo to do that in this industry, right? But you've just revealed to everybody in the industry that you record conversations. So you may as well release the conversations.
Well,
like, I don't know what to say. Like, don't tell people that you've recorded conversations if you don't want to be known as recording conversations, and then be like, I'm not going to release the conversation. Like, what's on these tapes? Like, what is going on exactly?
Well, the idea was he would say stuff to her, and then the next day say he didn't say that. So she was recording it in case he tried to like legally fuck her and go, no, we had this conversation, I guess. But I don't know. Let's continue.
That, again, these are not things I'm going to be putting on the internet.
I'm going to be real, by the way. Everyone, when you talk to Jer, everyone hit record. Yeah. I don't even care if you're in a state where you're not allowed to do it. Still do it.
Me to listen back to because he made me feel crazy. It was just a thing where I was like, oh, this guy's saying one thing, on an 11 o'clock call at night when he's drunk off of his head. And then I'd be like, wait a minute, you said all this stuff last night. And then the next day he'd phone and be like, I never said that. And so I just felt like I was losing my mind.
And everybody feels the same way, by the way. Because it's not even like private one-on-one phone conversations now where he does this. He publicly tweets all of this crazy shit, drunk out of his mind, then deletes all of the shit, and then tells all of us the next day that it never fucking happened.
And we're actually the devil, and we're crazy, we're making it up, and we're lying. And it's like you have to have everything screenshotted and recorded when you're working with him. You have to.
Yes.
And I just find it funny,
like she said from... Yeah, go ahead.
She felt crazy. This is a victim statement from women who are beat. I felt like I was in the wrong because they're gaslit, right?
Yeah, so that's what the thing is. Quartering gaslit her and made her feel fucking crazy about the whole situation, which is what he does to everybody. That's one of his most common tactics.
I was at my lowest when he and I started working together.
You saw that Rin.
And that's the thing too, is he picks up these women who are basically out of the women's shelter. Don't worry, I'll give you a job.
I think I clipped Sydney talking about this, but it's, Hannah Claire Brimlow was fired from Tim Pool. He scoops in to get her when she's at her lowest point and she doesn't have other options. Melanie Mack, burned all of her bridges and nobody really wanted her. He brought Melanie Mack in. Same thing with Sydney Watson coming off the Blaze. It's a pattern of behavior, and we're going to see it with Lauren Southern. When Lauren Southern didn't have any options, Jeremy tried to scoop her up for a paltry $200 a week.
Wait, what? Who?
Yeah. Quartering offered Lauren Southern a job working for him, like as the Hannah Claire, like poop slave, but only offered her
a week.
200 a week. You make more than that at fucking Walmart.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Crazy. Because Lauren Southern's out, out of the industry and sort of got felted and shit. So he's like, I'll just pay her 200 a week. Yeah. And then I'll try to fuck her. Like, you're a creep, man. Like, Jer, what the fuck?
Fair clip. Like, what was your impression of it?
I just thought, why would you behave like that in public?
Yeah.
He's like that dude. He's like that dude from Split. Remember that movie Split?
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Was the one where we go into a bar, a big group of us. I was chatting to a bloke that I ended up dating. Right. He and I just met that night. And yeah, on the way home, Jeremy was telling me that he's going to beat this guy up and he's going to fight him. And I was like, what's giving you this indication that you're going to fight another man to, I guess, for me, like not for me as on behalf of me, but for me as in to conquer, to take the woman back to cave. Like that was the vibe. And I was like, dude, I don't know what's giving you the indication that this is acceptable behavior, because at that point.
What is this historical society for 60 subs? Let's go. Big support. Thank you so fuck, bro. You rule.
You know, he'd been cool. Like, you know, he'd been someone who I was talking to about other relationships. We'd sort of talked about bits and bobs to do with our personal lives and things. And I was like, oh, this is like a friend. This is a friend, not someone who's interested in me. And that was when I was like, oh, Christ, no, sir, no. I know we've got DMs.
Friend zone, nice guy, Jer. You're never getting like, but like, this is the thing. You're a married man in a supposedly happy marriage, even though you've admitted you're not happy in the marriage and you have fantasies of leaving your wife all behind to move into a 2-bedroom apartment by yourself. And you talked about how you don't even care about spending time with your wife. And he's talked about how he'd be okay with only spending an hour with his wife a week. Like, it's obvious that relationship is on the rocks, or that Jer is just like completely open with his infidelity, because it's not just Sydney Watson. It's a lot of these women he tries to make moves on. And then he pretends like it didn't happen with Melanie Mack when we all saw it with our own eyes at AmFest for all to see. Like, this is just the way it is with him.
Buddy,
someone else sent him private DMs of mine that I had with a former friend that she sent him to get at me, and I know that he's gonna probably post them, and it is what it is. Yeah, I don't mind explaining things,
because, like, you know, understand why she would even be worried about that, because at this point, everyone's reaction to those DMs is going to be based, and she was definitely telling the truth when she was felting Jer and venting about Jer to her friend. So I'm not even sure why she's concerned about those getting leaked at this point. Years and years after the fact.
I personally think everyone will be on her side no matter what on this situation, because obviously Jer has fucked everyone. So it's not like we're going to be like, maybe he didn't fuck her. Like, come on.
Not infallible. I've done dumb crap that I'm not proud of. But, you know, when you read private DMs without context and things, you know, people then make their own decisions about what happened. So I don't mind. Like, I'm not trying to hide anything. But as far as getting into his personal life, I'm not going there, because I just think that
like you are. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be sympathetic and I want to be on her side, but it sounds to me like there's something to this that she's not really explaining. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
She's scared of Jer?
Like, other people can speculate, but for me, because again, like, this is a person I was friends with. Do I know things about his personal life? Yes. Does he know things about mine? Also, yes. And so
there we go. That's it right there.
There it is.
And she knows that Jer, he does the dirtiest tactics, and he does woke tactics, like getting people's channels removed and flagging. And also, he would be happy to reveal all her personal info.
But like with Sydney, it's like, you can't go in halfway with this stuff. Once you make the decision that you're going to go in with this stuff, you got to go in. And you could have stayed on the side. You could have stayed on the sidelines with this. But the moment you give this stuff to Camelot and give him permission to go ahead and read it to the world, like, you're in. you're in for a penny, in for a pound at this point.
All right, Sydney, let's fucking go. Let's release everything. Let's release the audio. Let's release the tapes. They should just DM her and go, release the tapes to us right now, please.
I think that she should do the right thing if she thinks that this guy is dangerous, which I think she obviously does. But that's not up to us. That's up to her. But like this idea that I can't be critical at all of any of the things she says or have any skepticism of the way that she's conducted herself during this, I think is kind of bullshit.
Well, like, that's fair. It's fair for you to feel like that. 100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's sort of like why even jump into this if this was what, but it's sort of like, it's like she wants to felt him, but like the fear.
What she wants is to be able to smear him, but only so far as that he won't retaliate. So she wants to have her cake and eat it too.
That's
and
fair.
I just don't really think it works that way. Like, I feel like when you come forward with this sort of stuff, you should come forward all the way with the receipts or don't come forward at all. And this idea that you get to pick and choose how much of the drama you're involved in once you insert yourself into the drama, like, I just think that that's ludicrous. Like,
that's fair. Fair statement, 100%.
What is your impression of Jeremy Hamlin?
You know what we need? We need one of these girls to be like, here's 1.8 gigabytes worth of audio. Here's every DM. Here's all the business deal. Here's the contract he sent me. We need one person to just leak it all.
I don't want to suggest. I'm going to suggest this, and I don't even know if it's true, but it can come across to people like you're drip feeding this stuff as a way to grift and milk off of it for years. Like, if you have stuff that's going to lead to this guy's house of cards collapsing, come forward with it. Like, otherwise you're just drip feeding it for attention or I don't know what. Do you know what I mean?
Like, is there not one person who's like worked with him who's willing to like go, listen, I know Lauren Southern did, so
I don't know. People are saying it's not going to look good to pressure her, but like
we're not pressuring. We're just suggesting.
I'm just saying, like, people are going to look at it a certain way, right?
If
like,
she doesn't, it's up to her. I mean, like, we're not going to like, we're not Jer. We're not going to fucking.
Somebody's saying they don't even think the House of Cards is him being a cock. Like it's something more serious, and it could be. I don't know.
I really think he's one of these like nice guy TM people who swoops in when people are.
That's worse than being like, oh, I scammed her.
Brutal.
Is that worse than being I scammed her?
That's brutal.
Nice guy TM meaning like, oof. One of those guys.
At their absolute lowest. Like, if you look at his progression of quote unquote co-hosts, they're mostly women or mostly people who he scooped up when they were having the shittest time of their life. Yep. He grabbed me up when I was coming off the back of working with the human embodiment of Caligula. And he was like, hey, do you want to come work with me and do streams with me? And I was at my lowest. He knew I was at my lowest. And I felt like, oh, someone's finally being nice to me. I think you can probably say the same about some of these other women that he's worked with, getting fired by Tim and turfed by Tim, and he came along and was like, well, let me save you. And like that would be so noble and so wonderful if it wasn't perhaps a manipulation tactic. And I think that's what's so troublesome about this behavior is you have this nice guy who on a long enough timeline actually demonstrates to you that he actually doesn't give a fuck about you. He cares about money. I think it's really wonderful.
Well, I would add to that also, and perving on these women and sexually gratifying himself by talking about poo stories in front of them and drinking breast milk and wiki feet and all sorts of weird, gross stuff.
If I'm in Discord with her long enough, she's going to fall for me and come to. He was talking about building a compound for fucking a compound for Hannah and
Mel to move in and live with him. And talking about
he wasn't
joking. You know what I mean? Like, he was dead serious about that shit.
Yeah. Ziggy 89 for 10,000
10,000 kicks, says base take PPP.
It is base, what you said, you know?
I don't know. Like at some point, somebody has to actually just be like honest in how this all comes across. Like, and not just be like, oh, my lady, I believe. Like, I just have some skepticism of how like innocent and all of like, I don't know.
If you are somebody who has some sort of enlightenment and you're like, yep, I want to, become a Christian or whatever it is for legitimate reasons. But if you're just wearing Christianity as a skin to stop people from criticizing you and you're using it as a shield, I think that's so embarrassing. And this happens so much in right-wing politics. Not that Jeremy is necessarily in right-wing politics, but he's kind of adjacent. Yeah. I can't speak to whether or not he's a Christian or not. I don't know. Maybe he truly is, but I do find it, the timing is always so interesting to me when people come under attack for very legitimate reasons. And then their immediate turnaround is to say, well, I'm a Christian, you can't criticize me.
Yes.
Oh, I read my.
And that's fucking annoying. Okay.
It really is.
I'm Catholic. Like Ashton was a preacher for it's like, and by the way, as a Christian, as a religious person, aren't you supposed to like really call out the negative?
You're supposed to be held to a higher
standard. Exactly.
If you're going to be publicly proclaiming and championing the faith and a winner of souls, you have to be held to a higher standard. You actually have to be an example. And the thing is, neither myself or Andy are claiming to be champions of the Christian faith.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Calling people to repentance and stuff like that. Whereas Melanie Mack and Jeremy Hambley, they are doing that, right? And then when they don't live up to their own standards, when Chrissy Mayer doesn't live up to her own standards and admits to lying, which she's now fully admitted to now, but said it was for Venti's own good, which is fucking twisted. And then we try and hold them to account to these standards. You can't do that because Jesus. No, I'm sorry. It's not an infinite get out of jail free card. Part of repentance and being forgiven is taking responsibility for your actions and properly repenting and no longer doing them. And we haven't seen that at all. We've just seen double down after triple down. It's ridiculous.
And also, too, we could just take that statement they made, right? And watch any of their current live streams or videos when Quartering's like, oh, this person at Walmart deserves, and you're like, whoa, I thought you were a Christian. Don't you have to forgive? Don't you have to be, you know what I mean? Like, you could just use that for everything that he does, right?
By the way, we got Bob Fishman for 5 subs. World Changer Real for 5 subs. Sunset for 2,000 kicks says she's playing the babe in the woods with Jeremy, but she already had an incident with Elijah. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, you'd figure if this has happened to you before and this has happened to you like a second time, you wouldn't want other women to have to go through this. And as somebody that's like an avowed feminist champion, I just don't really understand letting someone like this off the hook and not just exposing everything. And I know that makes me a monster for asking people to hold up to their own ideals that they profess. But I don't think that makes me a monster. I think that just makes me consistent, to be honest. So
do you think that, like, and also, do we really think, like, is Jared going to actually sue her? No, he doesn't have the money for it at this point. And also, like, sue for what? For her, just, like, just the
revealing the truth? Like, it's going to completely destroy his fucking life. But again, we don't know what's all in there. True. Why she's remained silent for so long. But now you've brought this to the public's attention, but we're not supposed to ask questions about any of it and just blindly believe you and blindly believe your side and everything was innocent and there's nothing to see here. But then why are you holding back? Why don't you want the whole truth to come out, you know? And then it's if you ask those questions, then you're throwing a woman under the bus and you're, trying to hurt her. And that's not really the case. I'm just trying to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people. And I'm also trying to make sure that Jeremy Hambley is destroyed. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I want him held accountable for the things that he's done. But if he didn't do this fucking greasy shit with Sydney, then his name should be cleared, do you know? And so, like, let's find out the actual truth in this situation, because we're already here.
And this also has the same statement can be used for Luke, for Hannah, for Mel. And it's like with Hannah, it's like, really, you're gonna actually just put your head in the sand forever? And like, I know it's like the meme was like free Hannah Claire or whatever, but it's like, should she be like completely free when she's like backed him for every step?
Like that's the thing, right? Like, how much absolution are we going to offer to people who were a part of this entire greasy, slimy fucking grift, who kind of, in my opinion, did know that they were simping out Jeremy Hambley? Because like, he's offering me all of this stuff. Like, why do you think he's offering you this? Well, I'm just an innocent babe in the woods and I don't know anything about the way the world works. And okay.
All right. Hey, Melanie Mac. You ever hear the story of Adam and Eve? Bish? This bitch took the apple.
No Baggers Gaming for 2,000 kicks says she jacked off his mini micro for 250. No, I don't think that happened.
Definitely not.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any amount of money that would actually, and that's the thing, they don't have to do that. All they have to do is pretend to be his friend and maybe go along with his flirting, and the money flows just as much as if they had sucked his dick, because that's what a pathetic simp mark Jeremy Hambley is.
Yeah.
But who knows what's really going on behind the scenes? Like, he's been creepy with so many women, and I just want the whole thing blown up. I want the whole thing exposed. I don't know. And that's got to be Kane. Says, I don't like how this woman implies things without clarification. Then when someone speaks on it, she walks it back, comes across disingenuous.
Fair.
That's very fair. Okay, let's continue here.
Okay. And thanks everyone for the big support.
I go to church. Okay, bitch, then act like a Christian. And stop this silliness on the internet and actually act like a Christian.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there a part of you, or a large part of you, or a small part of you that's like legitimately kind of afraid of Jeremy, do you think?
That sigh was all we needed to hear.
It really says it all, doesn't it? And she's going to say, yeah. And she is scared of Jeremy. And, you know, this is how he gets away with this stuff for so long, is he threatens people's real lives. He threatens people with life ruination. He did it to us. He came to us and said that he would ruin our lives and take everything that we had if we didn't comply with his demands. And we said, fuck you and fuck off. But we're also men, you know, and it's a little bit different when you're a woman to be able to make those sort of, no, fuck you, I'm going to stand where I am. And, you know, I understand, like, she's scared and she, you know, doesn't want to have her life ruined or things be fucked with. So I am sympathetic to a certain extent. Yeah. But then when you get involved in this part way, I feel like you have an obligation to finish the situation.
Look, I'm very sympathetic too, but here's what people have to understand. The people who have any, like, the revealing dirt on him, what you have to understand is the entire internet minus 0.01% of people, 99.99% of people will stand with you because he's already been exposed. It's like, now it's just clarifications. It's just like, okay, more proof and really like putting the final nail, right? But like, it's not like you're revealing something and there's like, I know there'll be a massive backlash.
This is the best time possible. There will never be a better time to come out with everything. And that's why she came out part way like she did, because she knows that she was testing the waters on it. And maybe Jeremy started threatening her. Maybe she received DMs from people and she realized what it would actually mean to go through with all of this.
Maybe
and then
she went through her DMs with him and went, oh, I told him that about my whatever so-and-so personal life.
This or that, and now doesn't want to go through with it all the way. I understand, but you know, it's not just her that's at stake in this situation. There's a lot of people that, if Jeremy is allowed to continue on like this, that are going to suffer. And that's all I'm trying to point out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good question. I'm going to say yes. I
think Jeremy has any power. I think he likes to pretend like he does, especially not right now. I think people really
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just saying right there. Right now is the greatest time to expose and felt him, because everyone's on your side. People are still making videos on this too, by the way. You know,
really respect the fact that you're just here. I mean, shoe on head.
By the way, we got Neon Bible Believer for a stomp 5,000 kicks, saying to all the new viewers,
don't be intimidated by Andrew's swarthy Portuguese complexion. Despite being a greenback and a papist, he's one of the good ones.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Suffer Portuguese people. Suffer bears.
Hola, Tashbong.
It's in the chat. She said, we love you.
I love Shu. She's so
thanks,
cute.
Neon.
Yeah. And, you know, there's obviously always going to be trolls and whatnot, but I don't think Jeremy has any power. I think all of his power is through threat.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
you know what?
Well, I'll say
That's
this.
the thing. He never really usually goes through with the threats, you know?
I mean, he did apparently have power against our YouTube.
Against our YouTube channel when he gets drunk out of his mind. So he probably would follow through on his threats against. But if he did, like, it's such a disaster for him. Like, it's a total fucking nightmare for him.
Yep.
Actually, the one thing he could come at me with, I'm just going to actually rip the Band-Aid off. This was my shitty behavior during the Publica thing. So, Jeremy, I'm taking this out of your arsenal. So one of the things he's threatened me with is that a girl I formerly worked with, things didn't go well. We had a fallout. I won't name her because I don't think she wants to be associated with any of this. Fair enough.
Name her!
She leaked a bunch of private chats to him where I trashed the shit out of him. And I want that to be really clear. I said,
based, though. She was frustrated.
Yes.
It's like, oh, the one thing I did was DM someone how mad I was about Jer. Like,
the thing, like, you can't possibly be concerned about that, really. That doesn't make sense. There's got to be something else in there, isn't there? Like, otherwise, just fucking release it. Fuck them.
you know what? Yo, DSP is Circle Size, sure. For 5,000 kicks, I'll send him that message right now. There you go. Thank you.
some not nice stuff. Because at the time, I was like, fuck this guy. He's making my life hard. He tried to murder my company right as it was trying to get out of the crib. I was like, fuck this guy. So yeah, I was a bitch. I was a very, very nasty person in DMs to friends of mine, just by the way, just mates of mine that I trusted implicitly. Well, silly me, I guess. And right there at the end, and this is the minimizing myself thing, he was calling me. Oh, sorry, I'm walking and I'm stressed. I have to sit.
So it's at the point where she's having almost panic attacks. She's having to sit down because she's so stressed.
She sounds like a quartering when he sits down and has an ad read for 2 minutes.
Think I'm this like larger than life person, but I'm actually not. This like is stressing me out. I have to sit down because I'm getting out of breath.
By the way, like, does she think that the women who exposed Harvey Weinstein didn't feel any pressure? Does she think, you know what I mean? Like, does she think that the women who actually stood up against millionaires and billionaires and told their stories weren't worried at all about having their names put through the mud? But she felt it was right for those people to come forward. But when it's her time to come forward, apparently, like, it's a halfway.
But here's the thing, right? Is too, with that, with this situation, it's like everyone is going to have your back. We are cheering. I know, chanting. Please,
this is the thing, audio like or whatever. The only reason I'm not more of a cheerleader is because you're now kind of doing a half measure on this. Mm-hmm. Like this is the thing. That's when I'm now like, okay, so what's actually going on here? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sympathetic to it, and I understand the pressure. And she's not a drama person.
Saying you paying her legal bill. Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? I guess you should just let evil people get away with stuff then, because they can sue you. I guess, right? Like, that's the standard. Okay.
And what legal bill for what?
I don't know.
What's he going to sue for? Being mean? You know what I mean? Like, come on. He's not going to sue shit.
Be associated with somebody who's kind of built this brand on, like I said, nice guy TM, like, okay, dude, but is actually kind of hurting people, not physically, but, you know, hurting people in financial ways or threatening them. And I mean, like, the dude was threatening to sue me.
There is no NDA. Whoever said that, there is literally...
According to her. According to her, and he said it, and then she DM'd me to say, by the way, there's no NDA or anything. So
for this $100,000 or 200, whatever the hell number he's pulling out of his butt, he was threatening to sue me over all this, and I'm thinking, this is so unhinged, bro. Like, do you not understand that the amount of work that I did for free because I wanted this thing to succeed? Meanwhile, you're just, you know, flopping around like a fish on a deck and not contributing. I was like, oh, you are out of your bloody mind.
Well, he just wanted he wanted the money like he got from the team thing. Like, he just wanted the more money.
Yeah. Well, he was always intensely sort of, I think perhaps intensely jealous of Tim Pool because.
Okay, that's the biggest understatement. I think he was jealous of Tim Pool.
No doubt he's jealous of Tim Pool. You know, anyone who watches him for any length of time learns that quickly. Very, very quickly.
That's like being like, I think he's out of shape.
Tim's memberships on his website are quite high, from my understanding.
Right. Dude, you're the fucking, like, Tim's membership, he's not like, Quartering is 100 members. It's probably lower now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Would you say, like, I've heard this a lot. Like, would you say that like the Quartering is kind of like obsessed with the level of Tim Pool or Tim Pool himself or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that he's definitely got a bee in his bonnet about Tim. And like, I don't know.
Yep.
Can we hear that again?
Why? Yeah.
Like the Quartering is kind of like obsessed with the level of Tim Pool or Tim Pool himself or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that he's definitely got a bee in his bonnet about Tim. And like, I don't know why, because I don't think he even registers to Tim.
Oh, that's mean.
Ooh, Tim doesn't even think about him at all. Oh. He's not even a blip on Tim's radar. Suffer, Jer.
Oh,
Suffer,
my
bitch.
God.
Yeah.
Did she say he's not a beanie in his bonnet?
Yeah, not a bee in his bonnet.
Oh, I thought you said beanie, like beanie, like Tim's beanie.
Well, actually, it would have been a good pun there.
Why?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was it?
Yeah,
Is that what she said?
I think so. Listen.
Kind of like obsessed with the level of Tim Pool or Tim Pool himself or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that he's definitely got a bee in his bonnet about Tim.
Okay, it is B.
And like, I don't know
like
why,
beanie.
because I don't think he even registers to Tim.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that meme. I don't know what movie it's from, but there's like a scene. It's an older bloke, and he's like, "I don't think about you at all."
Yeah. What do you think Jeremy should do? Like, do you think what should he like? Take a break? Should he go to rehab?
Yeah.
Should he go to rehab?
Yes. What should he should just quit the internet? Quit. Just leave.
Rehab immediately and like get the hell out.
Yeah, he should get sober. That's what he should do.
Yeah.
He should get sober. And
You know what? I'm gonna say this, guys. I hope Jer never gets sober.
No. Fuck him. I
go
hope
to
he
rehab.
suffers and spirals. Like, I give him like good advice and he never follows it.
For a year and a half.
Yeah. No one will ever, like, he'll never listen to anybody. So fuck him. I hope he suffers. Fuck him.
Don't go to fucking rehab. You know what? Fuck everyone. Jerry, you got this alone. You don't need rehab.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
Yeah, you got this, dude.
he should focus on his own shit and less on other people's. The thing crazy to me, and I don't know if anybody else has pointed this out, because full disclosure, I love a lot of the people who've been involved in this. They've always been super sweet to me, and so I got no drama with anybody these days, thank the Lord. But I think that, like, what's so interesting to me about Jeremy, and, you know, with the way he's been attacked and everybody's been coming at him, is there's a massive parallel here to the way that he went at Jack Murphy. And I actually said to him,
yeah, there is, isn't there? There is a parallel with that, you know. And apparently, well, yeah, let's just keep playing it. We'll keep playing it. I'll comment when it
Jack
comes.
Murphy stuff. I was like, you need Jack Murphy. And I actually said to him at one point during the Jack Murphy stuff, I was like, you need to lay off because this guy's going to kill himself and it's going to be my fault. And I won't be able to live with myself.
I think that that's ridiculous, that just because you made fun of somebody on the internet because of their own fucked behavior, if they do something bad, that you're responsible. No, you're not fucking responsible. And this is the thing, is Jeremy will start doing this shit. And he already did when he was covering the Storage Wars article about Daryl Sheets, apparently how people were cyberbullying him to kill himself. Like, I have no mercy for Jer. Jer wanted to kill us. Jer wanted to take away our livelihoods and leave us with nothing and in the fucking gutter. And it was only through the intervention of dozens of other creators that didn't fucking happen. Yeah. Do you know? So I really don't have
here. And the viewers,
I don't have any sympathy. He would never have stopped. If he got us down and out, he would never stop. And he's never stopped in the past. So I understand that women are very empathetic, but you know what? I'm not. Fuck him. Suffer, Jer.
If we hadn't kept the kick and had the viewers here and the people supporting us,
if he had got our kick account banned and Eddie folded to him, we would be done. Like, we would legitimately be done. We would be on Rumble with like 400 viewers.
Well, actually, we'd have over 300K viewers probably live.
Yeah, on Rumble, yeah. Because if you have 1,000 people there, it's like 300,000 fucking people or whatever.
We'd have 1 million viewers live.
We would legitimately be done. And Jeremy then would probably employ lawfare to take everything else that we had. Like, if everybody was on his side and he could do it, he wouldn't stop until we were fucking dead. So why should we show him mercy in any fucking way? Like, fuck him. Yeah. Like, it's on him to demonstrate that he's actually a changed man. And then he's going to stop doing this shit.
Like, why should we give mercy when he hasn't apologized to Flaked? He hasn't tried offering the channel or contacting
he said that he'll never apologize to us. Ever.
Well, then there will be no forgiveness. Ever.
Yes.
How could you forgive when there's no apology? But, like, for real.
Like, also, I got to point out, like, when Sydney says this stuff, it's kind of disingenuous because you've joined the dog pile. So, you know what I mean? Like, you've joined the dog pile halfway and now you're concerned about his mental health. Like, what? Fuck him. Like, I don't understand, by the way, this mentality that by punishing evil people, that makes you evil. I'm not fucking Batman. Okay. Batman's a cuck. He should snap the Joker's neck. The Joker goes and kills thousands of fucking people on a regular basis.
Fuck Batman. You're right. Batman's, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm not fucking Batman. Like, and this is how evil people are allowed to get away with things, because the moment when righteous people come to hold them accountable and say, no, fuck you, you're not getting away with this anymore, there's a bunch of voices in the choir that go, oh, but you're just as bad as him. No, actually, I'm not just as bad as him. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit and he needs to suffer. That's my belief.
Yeah, you're right. Fucking like Batman's like, oh, I'll let Joker go, right? And then he blows up a school bus full of children. Yeah. And you're like, hey, Batman. And he's like, oh, no, without me, there's no Joker. Without Joker, there's no me. And you're like, what? Are you gay? Kill him.
They are. They're actually gay for each other. Like, these motherfuckers are gay. Honestly, as shit.
You actually like blew my mind. Yo, Batman is a piece of shit.
If you kill your enemies, then they win. Okay. Oh, sure thing, Justo. Sure thing, Justo. And this is why the right wing loses all the fucking time, by the way.
Okay, we had a private, well, it was like before the show started.
By the way, we got Jeremy's Racetrack for 14 subs and Spooky Rambler for 10 subs. Lampo Calrissian for 500 kicks says Triple P hates Jer so much he just dropped a hard R suffer. I know, I said an actual suffer. And then we got Brown Dynamite.
Did I miss it?
Holy shit.
Did I miss it? Yo, thank you for the big fucking support. But you know what? When you're watching The Punisher and he murders someone, you go, based. You watch Batman, you're like, you're going to let them go? They just killed like 18 people.
Yeah, I know.
What a big...
I know.
I'm actually rattled, to be honest.
So please lay off.
Right.
And it's interesting because I don't.
Or it's like Spider-Man. It's like, if he actually punched the villain with his full strength, he dies. It's like, what is he doing?
This is the same dilemma with like Friday Night Tights, right? Where Jarbo and all these people are like, they've become the woke left. I'm sorry, but you need to have standards in any sort of association.
That's why we were talking about this.
Political group. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you don't enforce any sort of standards whatsoever, what's the point of label? What's the point of an organization? So you're not becoming a woke leftist communist if somebody supports canceling and censorship, and then you go, well, you support that, so I don't want anything to do with you. That doesn't mean that you're a woke leftist communist. Like, that's insane. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, remember about like fucking Matt Jarbo finally had a W, and this weekend or earlier this week, shit's all over it. Gary's actually Nerdrotic is woke for fire. It's like, no, listen.
No,
we don't get to have to like play the same rule. Okay, no, it's even worse. The right wing for years let the left wing own their jobs and be fired and get banned off of everything and this, that. The moment we're like, no, we're going to battle you back fire with fire. You're woke now. Oh, so Gary has to let woke people on or else he's woke?
I just don't get it.
Jarbo's the biggest retard.
I just genuinely don't get that mentality. I don't understand it. And it doesn't mean that you preemptively go out and you know, like try and fuck with people and do gay ops like Jeremy does. But when people come out and reveal themselves as being contrary to your principles, you don't have an obligation to support them. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And it's continued.
It's like when a chick punches a dude 100 times or tries to stab him and the dude knocks her out. And there was, you're a woman beater. It's like, was he not supposed to punch her back or stop her from stabbing him? Get the fuck out of here. Jarbo, shut the fuck up. You're a loser. And by the way, Jarbo also goes,
we got Spooky Rambler for 10 subs.
Let's go. Ash, you know what Jarbo said? He goes, actually, when I flagged people, I didn't get anyone's video. My video was taken down, actually.
There's a reason why Jarbo is retarded and
my video
for so many years.
Making fun of him crying about the YouTube plaque was taken down. Months later, we found out it was his strike. He's like, I didn't get any videos taken down.
No, his defense is he didn't get any channels taken down. Well, you sure tried to.
Oh, man.
Like, it's just a weird, and it's like, Matt, like, we all want you to just be like a funny side character in this.
Be normal.
Can you stop trying to like make yourself into something you're not, where you're going to lead this crusade against Gary? Can you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Seriously.
By the way, it's based that Gary stands for his...
Just take the easy W's there, fucking Jarbo, and stop trying to overextend. By the way, Jarbo, if what you were saying... Jarbo, if what you were saying really was the case, then Friday Night Tights will crumble on its own anyway. You don't need to insert yourself into it. Do you know what I mean? But it's obviously not true. Your narrative is retarded. Okay.
But for him to say, he's actually woke for not allowing a bitch who's like supporting flagging on.
Well, but chances are she's going to be back on this Friday anyway. So it's all a moot point to begin with. It's just that she was causing so much fucking drama that she couldn't be there during that time. And like, instead of like backing down off of it though, like she's now escalating the drama. So who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Who knows?
Hey, Jarbo, we would love for you to be a side character. I would love to fund, what's this, the movie called?
Jarbo's movies? Jarbo, we were talking about this. Jarbo wants to make movies.
Ash texted me, should we fund his movie? I'm like, yes.
Do we throw Jarbo $5,000 to make his? Because I want to see how terrible. I want to see these terrible movies be made. I really want to see
then-
Jarbo's like cinema excellence once again. You know,
And then
on the big
next
screen.
day,
But
next day, I'm like,
but then it's like, God damn it, Jarbo. But the whole thing is, it's just a joke to fund his movie anyway, because he's so retarded that I just want to see what he comes up with. And the thing is, too, it's not like anything that Jarbo says actually matters anyway.
of course,
Right? Like that's my position on it. Is it's like some fucking slobber bucket retard on the short bus, you know, says something. Does it really matter? No. If you take it seriously, you're the fool. You know?
Because Ash said, I want to throw him $5,000. I'm like, I'll throw him 5 if you throw him 5. And then like 8 hours later, I'm like,
executive produce
Ash.
the Jarbo movie. We're
and I was like, Ash, fuck. He's bashing Gary. What a retard. Like, we can't fund his movie now. Jarbo, you lost 10 grand.
Jarbo, you lost out, buddy. You lost out,
I
bro.
swear.
We were actually gonna make the Jarbo movie happen, buddy. Because we watched that Jarbo movie, the one that he did with his buddy that he thought was as good as Clerks all the time.
I've watched it 5 times. I've watched it 5 times. I love
laughing.
that movie.
Oh, man.
By the way,
All right.
you know Jarbo's banner on his Twitter is Kevin Smith?
Well, that's who he thinks he is. That's who he thinks he is.
Add to the shit that Jeremy's in right now, as much as I'm angry and I don't like him, I don't want to add to it because these are human beings. This is, I think, where I'm such a bitch because I just empathize. I empathize and I hate it. It's so Cancerian, but I empathize and I go, I would hate being in that position, even though you brought it on yourself. Like,
but you know, you
it's
wouldn't
crazy.
be in that position. Like people who aren't fucked in the head, that aren't alcoholics burning their lives down, don't end up in the position that Jeremy Hambly ended up in. It's just been unforced error after unforced error, just shit that he didn't have to do. And ultimately, other people are suffering as a result of his actions. So there has to be some sort of a deterrent to get him to stop doing this shit. That's my belief.
Yep.
because Jack Murphy was the same thing. He screams at me on a show. People are like, what the heck? They go after him and then they hammer him and they hammer and they hammer and they hammer. And I'm going, holy shit, this guy's going to die. And it's going to be awful. And that's kind of how I feel about Jeremy right now. I'm like, you need to get off the internet, bro, because you're just going to make it worse.
He does need to get off the internet. But it's like, if he's such a multimillionaire, why does he need continued income? You'd think at this point he would have invested his money in such a way that he really wouldn't have to work another day in his life.
He could have. He honestly could have.
Some of the things that I've seen in streams or some, I guess my own experiences, it's like, this is not the behavior of a married man. Like, you don't act like this towards women. You don't sit at a bloody fair and behave the way that you're behaving towards women and children. Like, it's icky and it's not acceptable. And so, yeah, I find it predatory. I am.
That's, you know what? All right, we'll see where this
We'll
leads.
see where that ends up going. By the way, I just want to point out, if Camelot is watching, Chrissy Mayer is calling you as a liar and saying that she never sent DMs where she said she was bringing Melanie Mack on for viewership and money. So, like, at this point, you probably should just drop the DMs. And if you don't have those DMs, bro, like, that's bad, bro, because I trusted you on that. And I fucking went to bat for you on that. And Chrissy's saying you're full of fucking shit right now on Twitter. So you probably should just drop all of those DMs and let's find out the truth. And, when Chrissy's questioning this stuff and like people are trying to give her outs and the benefit of the doubt, and then she calls bullshit on it. Like, I know for a fact that a number of people have come to Andy and said that Chrissy lied to them directly. So I don't know. Like, I don't know why Chrissy plays these fucking games. Like, I don't really get it. I'm going to assume that Camelot was probably telling the truth, but
I think
find out.
Well, I'm going to say this. He was, because she has lied about everything so far. And she said it's okay to lie to her own friend who was at her wedding. Not like a online friend. I met you a few times. I met you at a convention. No, you invited me to your wedding. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
I imagine he'll probably drop everything.
I DM'd him. I said to him, Chrissy's saying that you're lying on her Twitter. You have to filter. I sent it. Okay.